What it do, ski guys, it's Farewell34, and today I'm here with my Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4 review. So last night was the epic finale to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s 4th season, and things got pretty crazy. We had the return of Ghost Rider, the fall of Ada, and a ton of emotional moments. Now that the season's over, let's take a look at it in its entirety and get started with the review. So the biggest thing that was promoted and tried to get people back into the show back in September was Ghost Rider. Overall, I think Robbie Reyes was great, not just as the TV show version of the Ghost Rider, but also just as an interesting character in general. We spent a good amount of time fleshing his character out, getting his motivations with his brother and his uncle, and we get to understand him a bit more. His visual effects and some of the shots they managed to get with him were awesome, and when he's in his signature vehicle, it's badass. While the Ghost Rider arc was going on for the first half of the season, the seeds for the second were being placed, and that was for the Ada/Framework arc. Definitely this was a highlight for the season, and possibly for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as a series. The Ada arc was extremely well executed from almost all aspects. While the first half of Season 4 was enjoyable, there was something missing and holding it back. Pacing was slightly off and clunky at points, and tonally things weren't matching. However, when it came to the next half of the season, they fixed almost all of that. Ada turned out to be a formidable, scary villain for the season that pushed the S.H.I.E.L.D. team to their limits. I thought the Framework was a great subplot and was executed fairly well. I know there were some complaints about Hydra coming back, but it did make sense within the whole context of the situation of the Framework. Speaking of Ada, Mallory Jansen's performance was fantastic. Seeing her acting and her progress from being an android that's submissive, to then turning cold and calculating, to then turning into a vulnerable, vengeful human was great, and her acting really portrayed these transitions well. With regards to characters this season, I think this might have been the most character-driven season yet. The thing that worked so well in the 4th season was it took its time to develop feelings and depth for our characters. For example, in the beginning of the season, Daisy strayed away from the team being hurt, and it took a fairly long time for her to come back into the fold. Mac and Yo-Yo's relationship wasn't shoehorned, it was fleshed out. By spreading these moments, it gave more time for them to hit home and make sense during the second half once all these revelations and tenser moments tying all those things together came back and they worked. Quickly going over some of the other characters, Fitz and Simmons were stellar. In the beginning of the season, they just got together officially, and they were definitely tested by the end of the season. They were divided because of Ada, and evil Fitz in the Framework, along with all the other people there, made for some of the best parts of the season. With regards to writing, especially in the second half, it was well executed, strong, with characters getting great monologues and dialogue, especially in the more emotional, tense scenes. What's a show without a couple of twists, and I think that this season may have more so than any we've seen before. From the life model decoys to May being one, to not knowing who could possibly be one at one point in the season, this kept the audience on their toes throughout the season, changing things up every couple of episodes. Another thing that excelled this season was the fan service, and this was really a season that brought together every element, I think, from the previous into one, as we see many fan favorites also coming in from season 1 and 2. The most notable would be Agent Triplet and Ward. There was a lot of fan service, and it was a great tool that served to tie up some loose ends and some feelings that these characters had that they couldn't have anymore because they were dead, and the rest of her team that worked extremely well. As well, it didn't divert the ongoing Ada and Framework arc, but I think it actually complemented it with developing the characters. With regards to the themes present this season, not only do I think they were great, but they were very consistent. One of the biggest themes this season were being defined by our pain. See this from the very beginning of the season with Ghost Rider with the tragedy of his brother and family that still haunt him, to Daisy being alone and isolating herself from the team after the events of season 3 and the death of Lincoln. As well, this season was very bold and darker in its story approach, touching grounds on moral and ethical dilemmas that were great with the introduction of life model decoys and Ada. Furthermore, S.H.I.E.L.D. has always had a sense of family, and I think that was one of the core elements this season that was really strengthened and brought to the forefront. Needless to say, in the recent seasons, S.H.I.E.L.D.'s action has improved significantly. While I don't think season 4 has been the best nor the most consistent in terms of action, it certainly shined at moments. Most notably with Ghost Rider, his fighting sequences were solid and looked good, especially in the first half. And of course, in a new season, you're bound to get some new characters. One, of course, is Director Mace. Can't help that he got shafted, but he did make a sacrifice for the team, and I think he went out like a champ. And of course, one of the biggest introductions is Radcliffe. I believe we might have seen him towards the end of season 3. However, he is one of the main people this season, blurring the line between a baddie and a good guy, and this constant struggle made him to be such an intriguing character who ultimately had the most tragic, redeeming, admirable, and ultimately satisfying ending. Last thing is, while I believe this Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season was the best the show's been, unfortunately, it ended fairly abrupt due to it having to end off so many subplots before heading into this 5th season that was greenlit. Overall, I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 4 is the best the show has ever been. In terms of the writing, the actors, the character arcs, almost all boards, I think the show excels. However, the show does have its hiccups every now and then, especially in the first half with pacing and tone. However, it soon picks up, and the second half of the season is the best the show's ever been. I'm gonna go and give Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 4 a 9 out of 10. Anyway guys, thanks so much for checking out this review for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 4. What did you guys think about the show's 4th season? Let us know in the comment section down below, as well if you're excited for the 5th season. They left things off on a pretty interesting cliffhanger. Anyway guys, it's been Farewell 34. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.